is so great talking to my next guest. He's going to be headlining UFC Vegas 86 this Saturday against Joe Pyfer. It is Jack Hermansson, the Joker, back here on the program. Jack, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Happy to be back.
Yes, happy to talk to you, man. I know it's been a while, a bit of a layoff coming into this fight. Let's start there. You know, how challenging was it this last sort of year and a bit, not getting to fight, I'm sure, as often as you wanted to?
Yeah, it has it sucks. I was supposed to fight Brandon Allen in June last year, but I got an injury, so I needed to heal up and take some time off and slowly get back into the game. So, but now we're here. Now I'm ready, and really looking forward to get back in there.
Were you trying to fight sooner than this, or was this sort of just, you know, what worked out best? You know, because I'm sure you wanted to get him back there a little bit sooner.
Yeah, September was I asked for a fight since September, and this was my first opportunity. So
there you
yeah.
go. Were you surprised to get Pyfer as an opponent just because he's obviously not in the rankings?
A little bit, but at the same time, I understand that he's a guy with a lot of hype that they want to give a good opportunity. And my opportunity with this, especially since I'm coming off a loss, is to get another main event. So that's a good opportunity for me. So I think we both have something to win on taking this fight.
Does this remind you a bit of maybe when you fought Edman Shahbazyan, same sort of thing? I mean, obviously Shahbazyan, I think, had a loss or two, but still, like, you know, very hyped up prospect. You kind of getting the similar vibe going into the Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's kind of clear of where we are at in our career, and I have an opportunity to, solidify my position, and he has the opportunity to climb. So yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
We were talking about this before we hopped on. You're actually staying in an Airbnb, which I'm sure is a lot better than staying at a hotel. How long have you been in Vegas? When did you get in?
I've been here now for let's see here, 9 days.
Okay,
I
nice.
think. Yeah,
That's good.
or 10 even. Yeah, I think 10 days.
Okay.
So yeah, getting a little bit over 2 weeks here in Vegas before my fight, just to acclimatize and get some good training in, and yeah, get into the right time zone. So
stylistically, how are you looking at this fight?
I see me as a more of a volume puncher, maybe more of a grappler, while he is more of a power puncher and maybe more of a wrestler. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Have you taken a glance at the betting odds? I know he's like, I think almost like a 2 to 3 to 1 favorite in the fight. Do you pay attention to any of that stuff?
No, I don't, but I'm not surprised. I can, you always feel how the situation is and what people think and what people believe, and I can definitely see that people are having him as a favorite, but it doesn't bother me at all, and I feel like I'm gonna show everybody that they should have thought otherwise.
How much will experience play into this? Obviously, Pyfer's got 14 fights, but you fought sort of the who's who in the division, right? You've been in there with some of the best. We've seen fighters that, maybe perform well against the opposition they're facing, but when they get that jump up, it's a little bit tougher. How much will experience play into this?
I think you can play a big role. His experience in training has been training his whole life, so obviously. Uh, he has experience when it comes to all of the technical and tactical stuff of the game. I'm sure he's ready there, but there is always something different to do a 5-rounder, especially against a very well-conditioned guy like myself. So I think that if it goes to the later rounds, it's going to be a new experience for him no matter what.
Training camp, tell me a bit about that. Was there any cross training, or did you do mainly sort of most of your training at home base? Who did you get to work with as well for this fight?
Yeah, so I was doing my training as usual back in Oslo, Norway, working at Frontline Academy Hasle, and yeah, I did my training with my regular training partners there, and also trained a little bit with Martin Hamlet, who is another really good Norwegian
PFL
fighter.
guy. I know Martin quite well. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, that's right. And another young up-and-comer, Ahmad Edelbiev, who is also a really great prospect. So he has also helped me out with some sparring for this camp.
There you go. That's great. Weight cut, I assume that's going well. You got here, nice and early, so didn't have to worry about, sort of retaining any water on the flight or anything like that.
No problem at all. I'm light as always. I'm not one of the heavier guys, so it shouldn't be any problem.
Your corner, who will be in the cage with you on Saturday?
Also, same as usual, it's gonna be my longtime MMA coach Mohsen Bahari and my grappling coach Eduardo Rios. And I will also have my good friend Sebastian Bastiansen with me as well.
Excellent. And how's this fight playing out on Saturday? How do you see it unfolding?
I see, it's gonna be a tough fight, and I know that Pyfer is super dangerous. So it's one of these fights where it's about to hit him without getting hit, and that's a basic game plan that I'm gonna execute. And of course, there's a lot of more detail to it, but in the big picture, it's about hit Joe without getting hit.
Where does a win over Joe put you? You know, we talked a bit about the hype and the momentum that he's got going into this fight. And this is a main event as well. So it always looks good if you can go out there and get a victory. Does that sort of put you back in that spot maybe before the layoff?
Yeah, I think so. That will show everybody that, okay, Jack is still here, he's ready, and give him another opportunity on another big name to, so I can stay up there and continue to climb. So yeah, I think
Okay.
gives me a good opportunity to move on and move up.
How many more fights do you have left on your contract? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure.
You have a few though. I'm assuming like this wouldn't be the
Yeah,
last fight if you're in a main event. I wouldn't think so anyway. So
yeah.
gotcha. Okay, that's interesting. A guy that you fought won the middleweight title since the last time you and I spoke. Sean Strickland. He recently lost that middleweight title a few weeks ago against Du Plessis. I was curious. Did you see the fight first off, and second, how did you score it? Who do you think won?
Yeah, I watched the fight, and it's one of those fights that they are so close. So if I'm not sitting there with a pen and paper, I'm not gonna be able to tell who is the winner.
Yeah.
So I honestly didn't knew, and I didn't have a big opinion on it. I thought that like whoever gets it deserves it almost. MMA isn't perfect in the judging. There is a few criteria, but so if you will ask 10 different people, they will give you a different answer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was a good fight though.
I thought it was close. I don't think it was a robbery. I just think it was a really, really, really close fight. Do you agree with that, or do you think people have a case for calling it a robbery?
No, it's super close. Definitely not a robbery. I don't think so.
Okay. And who do you think should be next to fight for the middleweight title? There's a couple contenders. Obviously, Jared Cannonier's out there. You've got Khamzat Chimaev, who won, but I guess hasn't fought a ranked middleweight yet. And then there's also Israel Adesanya, maybe getting that shot again despite losing his belt. Is there anyone you'd like to see get the shot next? I know it's not your job to matchmake.
Um, I'm not sure. Like all of the guys up there has already been, they will be found with some fresh blood in there. But as you say, Khamzat hasn't been fighting any ranked middleweights, and we have the fight between Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the G's. But yeah, maybe like if Costa wins that one, it would be pretty cool to see him against Dricus. That would be a fun fight.
That's a possibility. I guess the other option is they could do the rematch against Strickland because of how close that fight was. Do you think that warrants a rematch, or are you kind of saying, like you said there, maybe get some new blood in there?
Yeah, that would be all right as well. I think it was that close, so definitely could see a rematch there. Yeah.
How surprised were you that Strickland defeated Adesanya? That was one of the biggest upsets last year.
Surprised, but not as surprised as many people was, I think, because I've been in there with him, and I know that he's better than he looks sometimes, and I knew that people were thinking about the Pereira fight, but he's basically the only guy that has done that to Strickland. I know how hard it is to both finish and to hit. So I was not very surprised, a little bit, but definitely impressed with him. Yeah.
I mentioned Khamzat Chimaev there. I know you guys had your wrestling match. Any part of you would like to fight him in middleweight now that he's in your division?
Yeah, that would be a really cool fight to do as well. Khamzat is also a friend of mine. We have been training together, but as you say, we are in the same division and we want the same things. So we have the same goal. So if that fight comes up, that would definitely be a cool fight to do.
UFC 300, they're still obviously making the card and everything. And I know you're fighting on Saturday, so it's hard to kind of gauge what will happen after this. But I mean, let's say best case scenario, you come out of this unscathed. Would you want to get on that card, or would you want to sort of, maybe space things out a little bit? Do you sort of have an idea of what the rest of the year could look like for you?
Yeah. Everything depends on, of course, like how the body is after the fight, but it would be amazing to be on that card. Everybody wants to be there, and me too, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And before we get out of here, what's downtime looking like right now? I know obviously you got a family, and I'm sure you got other things going on outside of training. What have you been up to in terms of downtime during training camp?
No, it has been the same. I'm just living and breathing MMA, and it's very few things happening in between. If I have some time over, I'm gonna go on a fishing trip.
That's right.
And
I was gonna say, I remember you did some fishing as well. Did you get any in this camp, or was it too tough?
no, no, not in this camp. Just has been focusing on the fight, but I'm really looking forward to get out there and do some fishing after the fight.
What about this week in Vegas? Have you got out to do anything? Not necessarily like the strip or anything, but have you gone like maybe like hiking or anything? I don't know.
We did some hiking last week, so that was nice. And I would love to go on a show to see, the Sphere.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome to experience. So maybe I will go there for a show. Yeah.
Would you want to fight at the Sphere? I think Dana's trying to make that happen for. I think it's the UFC No
Oh, that would
Champion.
be insane.
There
Yeah,
you
that
go.
would be
I mean,
really
you
cool.
fought all over the world, but fighting in a big sphere like that's got to be up there, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
And you know what else is awesome, Jack? This main event. I'm looking forward to it on Saturday. It's UFC Vegas 86. As always, appreciate the time. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for having me. And I'll just give a big shout out to all of my fans out there, and to my gym, Frontline Academy Hasle in Oslo. A big shout out, and thank you very much for cheering at me.